I saw her on the radio. She's like, she can't shave. She doesn't want to. She didn't hurt it. But somebody's saying that you got you can't put an all field there. Nothing's going to happen. That's right. The other eight just do their job. So what's the latest word on the highway? God, there's that. I got a sporting. Yeah, but the way the water's coming, yeah, that'll happen there. I see it happen anywhere. I see the other. That's how they go Highway 4. We want another 2 highways.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Alberni thrives. Yeah.
I see now. So Ken's right in his hand. He's like, I don't know if he'll fall back. I think it'd be a mistake for him to fall back. But thank you for that. I appreciate it. But I think he should move to BC
Imagine that happening.
He's talented.
He needs to.
Don't say hey to us. It's over. Somebody killed it. And it weren't me. Back in the day.
Welcome to the annual organizational meeting of council for Monday, December 5th. Council, we have an agenda in front of us, and first I'd like to recognize that we are on the traditional territories of the Hupetchisitt and Sishat First Nations. Councillors, do we have any late items? And City Clerk, are there any late items?
None, Mr. Mayor.
A motion to approve the agenda circulated.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
All in favor? Carried. Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for coming to the annual organizational meeting of the City of Port Alberni. I would like to begin by recognizing my council colleagues here beside me. These elected officials dedicate an incredible amount of time to making a positive contribution to our community, and I thank them for their ongoing efforts. I would also like to acknowledge and welcome the city staff here in attendance who all play such an important role on our team. This speech marks the midterm of our mandate, and this evening I'd like to share with you some of our progress and achievements over the last year. As many of you will know, our council has established a set of 5 goals to guide our local government service to its citizens. By shifting our resources to align with these strategic priorities, we are making real progress on the issues residents care about most, including infrastructure, the economy, and the environment. The 5 goals for a strong and vibrant Port Alberni are: live within our means, connected community, environmental protection, revitalizing the economy and livability, and responsive government. The city is undergoing an important transition, one that holds great potential but is also forcing some difficult decisions. The status quo is not a viable option. It's time for action and for solutions. Like cities across the country, we must find a way to deal with aging infrastructure, challenging economic conditions, and the responsibility of creating a healthy, sustainable environment. Port Alberni is operating within the financial reality of global economies, changing demographics, the need for increased infrastructure maintenance, and an increased demand for services. This evening, I will be talking about how we are rising to these challenges and discussing our achievements of the past year related to our 5 strategic goals. More than any other time, as a city, we must live within our means to ensure an affordable and prosperous city. We are striving towards long-term financial sustainability and fiscal best practices, and this year's budget process is a clear demonstration of this. On November 14th, Council provided direction to staff to prepare a provisional budget with a long-term perspective that provides for a gradual redirection of heavy industrial tax revenue to infrastructure renewal and capital reserve funds over a 12-year period. While we are legislated to adopt a new 5-year financial plan, we have full intention to establish and stick to this course of action. This prudent change is intended to shift our operational dependency on industrial taxation revenues and focus those resources on infrastructure renewal and reserve funds to ensure we remain fiscally sound going forward. Heavy industry and manufacturing have a long and proud history in Port Alberni, but the boom and bust cycles have challenged our community. Gradually reducing our operational reliance on these revenues translates to increased resilience and certainty for our organization, our services, and for the community as a whole. In 2016, the city made significant progress in implementation of the Organization and Compensation Review Report. This comprehensive report has provided a roadmap to align resources, reorganize key functions, and foster enhanced leadership. Recognizing the need for the city to adapt and change with the community, Council undertook this process to reposition the organization to ensure that the city can continue to deliver high-quality services in the most efficient and effective manner. Changes to our internal management structure, exempt employee contracts, and a realignment of operational services have been completed, and our management team deserves significant credit for their professionalism and support throughout. Work aligned with this new agenda of optimized service delivery is continuing. Through partnership and engagement with the Alberni-Clayoquot Regional District, we will be exploring shared service arrangements that hold great potential for all residents of this valley. But living within our means is not just about cost reductions. It sometimes requires continued strategic investment to realize savings further down the road. With this approach in mind, this year also saw the completion of a streetlight project that saw the conversion of 525 streetlight bulbs from high-pressure sodium, HPS, to high-efficiently light-emitting diodes, LED. While this project required a $150,000 initial investment, the high efficiency and increased life expectancy of the new lights is projected to result in approximately $45,000 in annual savings for the city and a reduction of about 18 tons of greenhouse gas emissions. With an approximate payback period of 3 years, this is the type of smart investment that aligns with our goal to live within our means. A connected community is one that possesses a full complement of high-quality assets that support services for water, sewer, drainage, transportation, sanitation, and recycling. This infrastructure is in many cases built, owned, and maintained by municipalities and is integral to our economy and quality of life. We accept this responsibility, yet cities collect just 8 cents of every tax dollar paid in our country. On our own, the city of Port Alberni simply doesn't have the revenue tools to renew all of our infrastructure. Partnerships with senior levels of government are required if we are to meet the challenge, and our council has worked hard in fostering solid relationships with our members of the provincial legislature and members of the federal parliament to advance these issues. What is also needed is a stable funding and management plan that facilitates the systemic renewal of the city's assets in an efficient, effective, and sustainable manner. Council has made the creation of a comprehensive asset management plan a major priority, and I'm confident that when completed, we will have a sound methodology of effectively budgeting towards sustaining these critical assets. Infrastructure replacement and renewal is not just words that we say. It's decisions and actions that are sometimes very difficult. This council made the decision to raise water and sewer rates annually by 10% for 3 years to address the critical state of our water and sewer infrastructure. While not an easy decision, to have kept utility rates at status quo would have threatened our ability to provide basic services to our citizens in the future. These rate increases are difficult, but when combined with overall taxes, Port Alberni continues to be one of the most affordable cities in the province in which to live. Cities function best when people and goods can move efficiently and safely with a variety of convenient, affordable, and sustainable forms of transportation. 2016 saw the beginning of one of our region's most ambitious projects, a major expansion to the Alberni Valley Regional Airport. The nearly $8 million project, funded in large part by Alberni Valley taxpayers, is providing for a modern GPS approach, an expanded runway, and a new lighting system. The business case that was completed has projected millions of dollars in additional economic output from this project, and I see this as the linchpin to an expanded aerospace sector in the Alberni Valley. With our proximity to major production facilities in Washington State, BC is a preferred gateway for the aerospace industry to Asia Pacific and is identified as a key sector for growth in the BC Jobs Plan. The provincial aerospace industry currently employs 10,000 British Columbians and generates $1.2 billion in annual revenues. It is our time to secure a greater piece of this economic activity. While we're supporting initiatives that connect at the macro level, we also are creating connections at the micro level. Whether you walk, bike, run, or jog, active transportation initiatives are creating communities and spaces where people want to be. Implementation of our active transportation plan took a significant step this year with the installation of bike lanes along some of our major corridors. This work was undertaken with the support of a $50,000 grant from Bike BC. By shifting a small part of our focus to moving people through more sustainable modes of travel, we are fostering a more workable, walkable, and bikeable city that connects citizens, builds community pride, supports the local economy, and property values. and improves the livability and long-term sustainability of the Alberni Valley. The city of Port Alberni is extremely fortunate to have a rich natural environment, including a majestic ocean inlet and rivers, wildlife corridors, lush ravines, creeks, and significant wetlands. Across the country, municipal wastewater is one of the largest sources of pollution to surface water. This is beyond just an environmental issue. It's also one of human health and economic prosperity. While I'm proud of our long-standing treatment systems that have reduced these impacts in our local environment, new national standards for wastewater treatment systems have been instituted that require us to make significant investments. The purchase and upgrade to our new system is estimated at $27 million. Approximately $11 million in federal and provincial grants have already been secured. We have submitted further funding applications in hopes of reducing the burden to local taxpayers even further. In addition to the strong action to reduce our environmental impact, the city also joined a national movement this year that supports citizens' rights to a healthy environment. Council's resolution sets in motion a plan the city will follow and aims to solidify all Canadians' rights to have access to things like safe food, clean water, and a stable climate. For much of this city's history, the recipe for our economic success was simple. A strong forest industry bolstered by healthy pulp and manufacturing sectors drove our growth and prosperity. With these sectors now a fraction of their former size, we all recognize that the recipe must change. While the forests will always be an important component of our economy, new influences like livability, appeal, and our unique qualities are attracting people and businesses. More so than any other time, it's about the social connections, the experiences, and the opportunities that will bring vibrancy and energy to cities. These connections must be supported by great spaces and neighborhoods that are distinct and diverse. These are the attributes that will allow us to realize our goal to grow our population and revitalize the economy. To nurture and foster our unique qualities, the city has launched a facade improvement program with a $50,000 investment that has been leveraged to generate $600,000 in improvement to local storefronts. We've introduced a new commercial revitalization tax exemption program for all commercial areas within the community. We significantly increased the seasonal planters along Johnson Road, launched the I Get It external marketing campaign, partnered with a private developer on a new urban park space in the Uptown core, and initiated a streetscape design process for Johnson Road, our city's front door. Recreation and sport are also part of this appeal, and we've made important progress in growing these sectors. 2016 saw the completion of a new pickleball court at Recreation Park, further trail development along Dry Creek, a new 5-year agreement with the West Coast Hockey Prep Camp, and funding support for what is sure to be a highlight of the 50th anniversary of the amalgamation of Alberni and Port Alberni, the 2017 Triconic Challenge. We greatly value being responsive to the community's needs and desires. A responsive government is a responsible government, and we are committed to being open and transparent. Hearing directly from citizens helps us make better decisions. We don't have all the answers, and we clearly recognize that the issues we face are complex and require community input. We've heard from thousands of community members over the past year about important issues. Through public meetings, presentations, surveys, letters and emails, phone calls, discussions on social media, and visits to City Hall, your input and opinions have helped shape our decisions and policies, and we thank you for that. Proposals from citizens, community groups, and businesses helped lead some of the positive successes this past year, including the completion of the outdoor fitness park at Bob Daly Stadium, the exterior renovation of City Hall, the hosting of Thunder in the Valley right here along Stamp Avenue, the city's partnership with the Port Authority on Tyee Landing, and the development of a comprehensive planning exercise for the Johnson Road corridor. We also partnered with the Alberni-Clayoquot Regional District in hosting Exercise Coastal Response, Western Canada's first full-scale earthquake and tsunami response exercise. Following this speech, Council will be considering appointments to the city's various committees. My thanks go to the many citizens who volunteer their valuable time to serve on the city's boards, commissions, and committees. Specifically, I want to thank outgoing members Darren Sarr, Susan Barnett, and Bill Randalls with the Seniors Advisory Committee, Bob Haynes from the Food Security and Climate Disruption Committee, Mark Millen and Vern Barnett from the Advisory Planning Commission, and all the members of the McLean Mill Advisory Committee whose mandate is now fulfilled. I would like to welcome Amy Anaka, Ken McRae, Ian Staton, Brandon Chase, and Jan Cole as new appointees. I would also like to recognize all of the members of our dedicated staff who retired in 2016. They include Jane McNaughton, Ilona McLeod, Guy Cison, and Ken Watson. My best wishes to all of them. This council has set its sights on some very ambitious projects for our city over the next 2 years. A new wastewater treatment facility, development of a plan to replace the aging Echo Aquatic Center, service regionalization, enhanced communications, and the development of a comprehensive asset management plan are at the top of our agenda. In closing, on behalf of your City Council and City staff, I wish everyone a safe Christmas holiday season and best wishes as we anticipate the new year. Ours is an ambitious agenda. By working together as an entire city, I have no doubt that we'll achieve success. Thank you. You could. Yes.
I'm prepared to make the motion that the City Council annual address presented by the mayor be received.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
All those in favor? Carried. Which council, that now brings us to the 25-year Employee Recognition Awards. And we have recognition awards for Carrie Berkey. First off,
Good evening. I'd like to recognize 3 individuals who have worked in the City Public Works Department for 25 years. Each of these gentlemen started their careers at the city in 1991, progressing through a variety of jobs and gaining the experience to make them highly skilled and valuable employees. Each of them now hold senior positions within the Public Works Department. I'd like to share a bit about each of them before they come up to receive their 25-year watches. So the first is Carrie Berkey. Carrie started his career in the Parks Department, working first as a seasonal employee before getting full-time posting in the Works Department in 1996. Carrie worked first as a laborer for a few years, moving on to a posting as a residential garbage truck driver, onto a posting as a front-end loader operator, and finally into position as a truck driver, until 2007 when he started training to be a wastewater system operator. So the courses that Carrie took and the experience that he gained has made Carrie a valuable asset in the wastewater section, and he can be found quite literally on a day-to-day basis in the trenches. So congratulations, Carrie, and thanks for your hard work and diligence for 25 years. Second, I have Gerald McCombs. So Gerald also spent a couple of years working as a seasonal laborer before getting a full-time posting as an equipment operator in 1994. Gerald learned and is capable of operating pretty much every piece of equipment in the workshard. From 96 to 2004, he worked in the street service and traffic service postings, maintaining city streets, signs, line painting, to name a few of those things. From 2011 up till 2011, Gerald also tried his hand in the wastewater department, operated our flail mower and our sweeper as well. Since 2011, Gerald has dedicated his time as a senior truck driver. With his vast knowledge of public works and the city in general, I know for myself, I've leaned on Gerald on more than one occasion for his advice. So congratulations on 25 years, Gerald. Last but certainly not least, Roberto Polis. Roberto, or Bert as he's known to most of us, also started his career with the city as a laborer. In 1994, he pursued a change into the utilities department as a wastewater system operator. And Bert worked in wastewater for many years until posting into the utilities technician position in 2009, and a position that he still holds today. The utilities tech position is one that affords Bert quite a bit of autonomy, as he is involved in all aspects of city utilities infrastructure, from inspection and maintenance of our water and sewage systems to all our pump stations and lift stations, as well as collecting water and sewer samples for compliance testing. So thanks a lot, Bert, for all your years of service with the city.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, would you be in a picture with Mr. Chair?
Where do you want us?
You're right up front.
In front of the red flowers, come on.
That's why they're there.
Can I photobomb this?
So your best side, guys.
We'll get you back up in a minute with one flash, with Joe as well.
Thanks so much.
Mayor and Council, just to continue on, another 25 years service is Joe Pistotnik. Joe has been part of our community for a long time. He started in 1985, which I was not quite aware of, but a children carpentry course with the city till 1989, which surprises me because not only being a colleague and Joe working for my section, is also the fact that I learned that he had all these skills, but he never offered to help me at my house. So I'm quite surprised. But needless to say, Mr. Pistotnik really had a burden, a heavy burden to carry. As an RCMP member, a lot of people recognize and they know who arrested you. But the only people that they recognize after their stint in cells is the guard. And having a small community and Joe being recognized throughout the town is pretty amazing burden and responsibility to carry. Joe has been an asset not only for the community and its residents who happen to pass through his workplace, and also an asset to the RCMP. Joe was well known to be deorganized, the head guard, responsible for all the stats and everything that comes into the guard rooms and the rules and the training through all of our guards, which is a heavy burden itself to ask without any extra pay. So I would like to introduce you to Joe Pistotnik.
Can't help you get everybody.
Your smiling face in there.
Joe, did any of those three go through your, as customers?
CAO.
Mr. Mayor, you're likely looking at the list where there's 5 names. Scott Burrows. Mr. Burrows, Scott, has worked with us for a number of years. He started in the Parks Department, is now a captain in our fire department, and is not able to be here tonight. So Chief Gilday assures me that he will find a way to recognize Captain Burrows and present his watch at the fire station.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Council, that brings us to the next item, and that is regional district directors. this is our time to make our appointments for this next year. Councillor Paulson, you want to make that motion?
This is for regional district directors. The council for the city of Port Alberni appoint Mayor Rattan, who is allocated 5 votes, and Councillor McClellan, who is allocated 4 votes, to the positions of director of the Alberni-Clayoquot Regional District, and alternates shall be, in order, Councillor Minions, Councillor Alberni, Councillor Sauvé, Councillor Washington, and last but not least, Councillor Paulson.
I'll second that motion, Mr. Mayor.
All in favor? Carried. Thank you. And to the Vancouver Island Library Board. We have a letter dated November 2nd requesting the consideration of the city's representative to the Vancouver Island Regional Library Board. Councillor Washington, would you like to make that motion?
Certainly, Mr. Mayor, that the Councillor Minions be appointed to the Vancouver Island Library Board for a term of 1 year, January 1 to December 31, 2017, and that Mayor Rattan be appointed as the alternate.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
All in favor? Carried. And Councillor Minions.
Thank you. I'm going to recuse myself from the next vote because my husband is one of the applicants.
Okay. Under the McLean Mill Society, the McLean Mill Society must have no fewer than 3 and no more than 7 directors. 4 directors were confirmed at the November 28, 2016 regular meeting. The following 3 are provided for consideration to complete the board. Councillor McClellan, would you like to make that motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move that the Council of the City of Port Alberni appoint Jolene Dick, Colin Minions, and Dwayne Parfit as directors of the McLean Mill Society.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
All those in favor? Carried.
Jolene, you care to make a campaign speech?
Yeah. Under the Food Security and Climate Disruption Committee, terms of reference, draft revised terms of reference is provided, reflecting an amendment to the committee composition due to the discontinuation of the Alberni Environmental Coalition. Councillor Alberni, would you like to make that motion?
Certainly, Mr. Mayor, that Council for the City of Port Alberni endorse the Food Security and Climate Disruption Committee terms of reference as amended.
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
All those in favor? Carried. In council, we have included a schedule of meetings. Let's deal with the regular meetings first. City Clerk, do you want to point out anything special about our regular meetings for 2017?
I'd love to, Mr. Mayor. First, if we could just consider the appointments to committees and commissions first, and then...
I'm sorry. We're on to appointments to committees and commissions. My apologies. We have a committee enacting mayor appointments. Councillor Sauvé, would you like to make that motion?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That the appointments to committees and council representatives to public bodies, commission, and selected committees be adopted as circulated.
Seconder?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
All those in favor? Carried. Now, City Clerk, regular meetings, comment?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. 2 particular notes that I'll bring to council's attention. We've adjusted the meeting times for our 2 meetings during the summer. I'll note those here. So on Monday, July the 10th and Monday, August the 14th, there's a 2 p.m. start time. Otherwise, our meetings will remain at 7 p.m. For the duration of the year.
And also Councillor McClellan?
I'm just curious as to why.
Why we're having them at 2 p.m. instead of...
Because people are used to 7 and now it's 2. What's the reason?
We thought we would try something different during the summertime to see what the effect would be.
Okay. I would have known sooner, but my high-tech toy is down.
But we do have, you'll note, we do have 2 meetings in September. and we've arranged those around the UBCM. There's no conflict with that. Councillor Alberni, would you like to make that motion about the regular meetings?
That the 2017 annual regular meeting schedule of City Council be approved as circulated.
Seconder?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
All those in favor? Carried. And committee and commission meetings. Councillor Minions, would you like to make that motion?
That the 2017 meeting schedule for the Advisory Planning Commission, Alberni Valley Heritage Commission, Audit Committee, Advisory Traffic Committee, Food Security and Climate Disruption Committee, and Seniors Advisory Committee be approved as circulated.
Seconder?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
All those in favor? Carried. And council, once again, I wish to thank you for all of your work during this past year. I've put in many, many hours, each of us, and collectively it's hundreds of hours to city business and advancing the future of our city. And I look forward to 2017, as I'm sure do all of you, with great anticipation. We have lots of things that we want to accomplish. A motion to adjourn would be in
I'll
order.
make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you, everybody.
Sure.
This meeting is declared adjourned.
Thank you.
Jeez, where'd you get that?
Oh, are you serious? Jake?